Hey everyone, Usman here, back with another video. I am going to be talking about two bits of news or two pieces of news that really, stood out to me this week that I would really like to talk about, and I think you guys might know what that is, two bits of comic book news. Those pieces of comic book news are Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3, and with Deadpool 3 actually having a release date now, instead of us just, as fans, like speculating, when is he coming back, when is Deadpool 3 ever coming out, like is this going to be this, is this going to be that, so that is going to be coming out soon, and then on top of that, there's also another bit of news I wanted to talk about is the Armor Wars. It was originally going to be a TV series and everything like that, but now it's going to be a movie. So I'm going to be talking about those already, going more in depth with it and everything like that. But before I do, don't forget to like and subscribe and, leave a comment letting me know which piece of news excites you the most. Is it Armor Wars or is it Deadpool 3 and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine coming back? You can let me know down below in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I'm going to start with Wolverine, Deadpool 3, that type of thing. So I think it was like about, maybe about 2-3 days ago that this was announced, and me and the entire internet have been losing our minds that he's actually coming back. I mean, I think that's great because he's a great Wolverine, he's a great actor, and on top of that, it's good to have like one more story, I guess, to have like with the character, with like another sort of send off, because I know Logan was essentially the send off for him in a way, where he's like, oh, he's played the character officially, and it was like, very dramatic and heartfelt and everything like that. But I feel like, with something like Deadpool 3, considering that, like, in X-Men Origins Wolverine, we saw Deadpool, but it wasn't really Deadpool. It was ruined that version of Deadpool or something in that movie. So that really, it was just like a guy who was bald and he had lasers coming out of his eyes and katanas or something kind of coming out of his wrist. That wasn't Deadpool. That was like, who knows what that was. And his mouth was, closed. In Deadpool 3, they're actually going to bring in, like, in Deadpool, like the real Deadpool and the real Logan. So it's like we're actually going to see the real Wolverine. So we're going to see that and we're going to see them interact, and it's going to see, like, Deadpool's sort of crazy, hyper, insane type of like antics and his personality compared to someone like Wolverine who's like serious and just angry and everything like that, and just doesn't really have that much of a sense of humor. So it's going to be great to see that, and it's going to be interesting seeing the dynamic between the two actors, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. I think it's going to be awesome. Seeing it officially done right, I think is going to be cool. Little bits of it, I guess, maybe in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but more so in Deadpool 3. And we got a release date. We got it, I think, is September 6th, 2024. So it's going to be coming out roughly, I guess, in less than 2 years now, I guess, at this point. So that's going to be pretty awesome. I just can't wait for something like that to happen. It's like, why not? And I think we get to see him don the popular Wolverine costume. So that Wolverine costume is something that they never were able to show in those movies, because I think it was just a little bit too, like, goofy looking, and they never really properly had an idea as to how to adapt it into live action. But I think now they're able to do it because for the fans, as well as at the same time, I feel like there was a deleted scene for one of the X-Men movies, or the Wolverine. It was like the second of those, that Wolverine trilogy they essentially had before Logan. Came out in 2013, and it showed like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He was sitting on a plane with someone, and he was in Japan. I think he was about to go back to Canada or to America. This woman gave him a briefcase, and it was like, here you go, and then gives it to him. He opens it, and then he basically like looks at the costume, and then he's like, so he's just like, really, this costume? So it was a nod to the comics, and I don't know if they still have that sort of costume already, still there or something, because I don't think he ever really wore it. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, and I hope that he'll wear it. I think I read that, yeah, he is actually going to wear it in the movie, so that would be awesome. As well as at the same time, a lot of comic book costumes are very goofy anyways, but they're somehow able to manage to make it look like good and like much more cooler in live action. So, and I think it's just going to be a multiversal variant. Obviously, they're not going to take anything from Logan. I don't think they will. I just think it's going to be a multiversal variant of the character. So it's just going to be like, okay, well, here's this version of Wolverine. They'll adapt it just to not confuse audiences. They're not going to touch that movie because I know a lot of people loved that and they thought that was a proper send-off and everything, and I totally agree. They shouldn't really touch that film. I had reservations about them bringing him back anyways. I'm like, if he stopped playing the character, then he stopped playing it. But that was the sort of attitude I had about it when they were talking about, like Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock or Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I guess even with Jamie Foxx's Electro, it's like they played those characters. They played them as well as they could. They should just not come back, because you never know what they're going to do with No Way Home when they did. But when they did, I thought they did a pretty great job with the way they did it. I thought the way that they brought them back actually made sense, and they were able to satisfyingly like tie up everything with those characters. We just don't know their fates now after that movie. I feel like with this multiverse stuff, I mean, anything's possible. It's a nostalgic universe now. Like, with this phase of the MCU with multiverse happening, like people are like, oh, it's a nostalgia-filled thing with Toby, Andrew, and Hugh Jackman, and then Patrick Stewart and everything. It's like, yeah, it is. It pretty much is, and I think that's great. It may rub people the wrong way. It's like, oh, it's fan service. It's just going to ruin the story. But for me, I'm like, I think it's great. And as well as if they're able to tie it into the story and not just make it like, aha, see, we it's like, then I think it makes sense. Armor Wars is actually, it was originally going to be a Disney Plus series. Now it's going to be turned into a movie. Think of it, I guess, maybe as an Iron Man 4, but it's just not with Robert Downey Jr. because, he's done playing the character. So I think Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine, he's going to be coming back, and he's going to be playing that character. I think I've mentioned this before in my D23 presentation video. It's going to be basically about just Stark Tech getting into the wrong hands based off a comic book storyline. I'm glad that War Machine's actually getting more, sort of recognition. He's a cool character. He deserves it. I mean, he's just kind of like the sidekick to Iron Man, but now he has the ability to step up and become something more. So, that's going to be cool. And I think the next appearance of him is going to be in Secret Invasion for the character, and then I don't know. I feel like there's something else that he was going to be in as well. But Secret Invasion is going to be like the next thing he's going to be in, which is going to be which is the the Skrull, the Nick Fury show. I think it being turned into a movie, honestly, it doesn't care. I don't really care either way if it's a movie or a show. As long as I'm going to get a chance to see it, that's all that matters. But if they're making it into a movie, I think that's pretty cool because it is able to tell its story within that 2-hour runtime. I think that's great. They don't have to span it within different episodes and everything like that, or because some people have had these criticisms of the MCU, well, in general lately, but it's like the shows feel rushed and everything like that, and people had those criticisms. But for me personally, I'm like, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm like, I still enjoy it for what it is. And people said Eternal should have been a TV series because that movie was about 2.5 hours long. We'll see how long Armor Wars will be. Maybe like about 2-hour movie, 2-hour 10 movie, whatever. So yeah, those are really just my thoughts on the overall sort of news that's coming out. Can't wait for both of them. As for upcoming stuff, I think Werewolf by Night's coming out. I'm going to be watching it on Disney Plus. I heard it's like probably less than an hour. I'm going to watch it, give my review for it. Is it worth it? Is it not? Is it too scary? Is it not too scary? As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.